All right, hello everyone. Trying a different camera out, so bear with me. I did not review Black Ink Crew New York this past season. I haven't been home a lot lately. Been doing a lot of traveling, got a lot going on, whatever. So I did not review that. I did not review that particular episode. I decided to skip it. So now we're going to get into the mid-season return of Black Ink Crew Chicago. So we are now at season 5, episode 11. So we let's get into it. All right, so we are back, and we're kind of doing a recap from last. It's not technically last season, but when the last half of this current season ended, and we know that Ryan left the new shop to Van, and now we're debuting the new employees from the new shop. Don't know anybody's name right now. I'll learn them eventually, but it just kind of looks like Caesar's model from Black King Crew New York. Ryan is trying to yet again remove himself from the BS that is the shop downstairs. So he has a whole new crew, whole new people for the crew upstairs. So we'll see what type of shenanigans continue to take place. All right, so we are. It looks like 2 days after Ryan announced the new NIMAG situation, whatever, everybody's going back to their respective NIMAGs. Ryan is, I'm assuming, upstairs at the new NIMAG, and Van and the old crew have been banished to the old NIMAG downstairs. Okay, so Ryan is upstairs, and they have a powwow, and he's trying to set the tone for a different type of NIMAG where he's kind of the boss and people are actually the employees, and he's not trying to have this whole family dynamic. He wants more of an employee employer type relationship. So whatever. Even though everybody gets to scream out nine mag, we a team, whoop de whoop de whoop at the end of the meeting. Whatever. Okay. So we go downstairs and everybody's and I would say Brittany, they got into a couple Brittany Slam, whoever that was from last season, well, from the earlier episodes in this season. She did make the cut and she ended up at the new nine mag. Everybody else um she's the only person that made it to the new nine mag. Everybody else is still banished to old nine mag, which is under Van's leadership. Segue into Van's leadership. He comes in with an entourage of people, which are from his Chicago Rilla clothing brand, which that name needs work because not very creative. But he comes in and they're bringing in a throne and throwing down flowers, real coming to America esque. Um, and yeah, he's giving out the rules, and people are supposed to address him as Mr. Johnson. Basically, just a mini Ryan at this point, considering he hated Ryan just not that many episodes ago. It's very weird, but sure, we'll go with it. And he also has a thorn in his side for Bella because Bella is still friends with Lily. Lily is no longer welcome at the shop and blah, 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 blah. So he basically hazes Bella and says that he is now only going to call her by Latifah. Latifah is Bella's government name, which we didn't need that information, but he decided that it was for us to know. So he lets us know, hey, we're gonna address her as Bella, and we're gonna address Bella as Latifah because that's her government name. Blah blah blah. Whoop de whoop. All right, cool. Whatever. We'll go with it. And then he decides, hey, he has all his Chicago Rilla merchandise set up in the Nine Mag shop. I guess it's for sale or whatever. And she lets him know, and he wants her to show her the snow. Like he's just giving her a bunch of frivolous bullshit ass tasks to do at this point. And he lets her know, like, hey, the merch table is already set up with all my Chicago Rilla branded stuff, but I want you to unfold everything on this table and refold it better than it was before. I do not know the necessity for doing that. But he did make her do that. She flips the table and she quits, as I would myself. So we will see what happens after the break. But now Bella's gone. Lily is banished. We know that Ryan's going to be talking to Rachel, so she's going to end up back in the picture. And we're going to learn how. What's his? I don't remember the dude's name. The dude that had the suicidal thoughts. Ford. We'll after the break. We're gonna learn what Ford thinks about Nikki hanging out with 50 Cent. So yeah, stay tuned. All right, we are back from the commercial break. Sorry, and Ford is sitting on WGCI, which is Charmaine's morning or evening radio show, whatever time of day it is. And she's, asking him questions about himself and kind of asking him, about his music career and what's happening. And he lets us know that he's working on about 14 songs. He's coming out with an album. Things are going to be great. He's in a good headspace. And Charmaine's just telling us, that his story was inspiring to a lot of people, just due to the fact that he was sharing his suicidal thoughts and things like that on last a couple episodes ago. But then Charmaine decides to be her normal messy ass, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep the glare out of the camera, but Charmaine asks for about Nikki and, whether Nikki has reached out to him, just trying to get him to, talk about Nikki and see, if she's reached out to him. And he claims that he never saw the video of Nikki with 50 Cent in the club. And if Charmaine is telling him, there's no need for him to look at it now at this stage of the game, which definitely makes good sense. And then he also lets us know that, in his opinion, Nikki did not reach out to him until, I guess, social media and everybody got wind of the episode from a couple months back. So he's over it. He don't want to talk about it. Charmaine should have never brought it up because that's messy. They're not together no more. So shut your messy ass up. But I digress. All right. So we're moving on, and we cut to Ryan having dinner with Rachel, the spawn of Satan himself. And he lets her know that he feels better about the fact that he actually has employees working for him now. And people aren't just sitting around and not costing him money out of his own pocket, which I don't know why you're complaining about circumstances that you continued to create, but still, not my business. And he also let us know that he came up with a management partnership with Van, whatever that means, and he wants absolutely no ties to the old shop. So keep that in mind. All right, so Four shows up to the old Nine Mag, and they're cold, and I guess the heat isn't turned up good enough for whatever the issue is, and for some reason they are privy to the fact that the new Nine Mag has sufficient heat in the Chicago winter, or whatever season it is. So Ford goes upstairs to kind of talk to Ryan about the heat or whatever. However, the door is locked upstairs, and he, presses the ring doorbell, knocks on the door, and Gigi, which is Ryan's assistant that he had when he was at the old Netmag, she comes to the door, and she's kind of like pulling the door closed behind her because she doesn't want him in there. And he lets her know, he was like, hey, I'm here to talk to Ryan. I have an NFL client coming, and it's not the most professional setting downstairs. So, he wanted to go upstairs to do that too there. Well, Gigi was like, yeah, I'm going to go get Ryan. I'll be back. And Forrest like, I can't come in. And she was like, mm-mm. And shut the door and went back. And from the way it looks, he never got in. So, we will see what happens after the break, but it looks like Ryan don't even want nothing to do with Ford, which is contradictory to when we saw him not that long ago, because when he walked away the last time, he did offer Ford a seat in the new shop when it was in the other location. So that's interesting, and I don't get it, but we'll see. All right, so Ryan finally decides to show up to the door, which, because of editing, it seems like it's been a very, very long time, but it probably has not been. He shows up, and him and Ford talking, and Ryan lets us know that he's created a sterile environment, and, the Gigi and his employees are just doing what they're supposed to do, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. And, he lets us know that there's a sterile environment, and he continues to let us know like he wants nothing to do with the old Nine Mag. And the production or someone is asking him, in his little green screen during his interviews, like, hey, we understand that you're creating a new environment, but does that include Ford? Like I said in earlier in the video, I'm confused as to why Ford was not included, considering, that's your brother, and, you're never going to leave him behind or whatever. And he never answered the question. However, during the conversation that he's having with Ford standing outside, he, lets Ford know that they're supposed to keep everybody out, blah, 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 including the old Nine Mag. But in the same breath, he says, hey, Ford, that there's a booth that's still in here for you. I told you always have a booth, even when you're out doing your music thing. I have a seat for you, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. Do you want to come in and look at the place? And Ford lets him know, yes, I would love to. And they go in and skip off into the sunset. We are almost at the end of this return episode, mid-season premiere, whatever you want to call it. And we found out that Bella has moved out of Lily's apartment because Lily doesn't want to be a second parent to Bella's daughter, which that's understandable. She ain't got no kids. I guess she don't want to be bothered, whatever. They moved out. They're not on bad terms. However, the only problem is Lily is not employed because she's decided to not go back to NIMAC after Ryan gave her the little hiatus a couple episodes ago. And Bella decided she was going to quit when Van was basically walking trying to walk over her earlier in this episode. And she lets Lily know that, they kind of want to be a part of the new mag, but they don't know where they stand with Ryan, with his whole superior attitude to everybody at this point. So I don't know what they're going to do, girl. I don't know how the bills going to get paid, but yeah. And I'll just say that I have to agree that that Van was kind of bullying Bella just off the strength of her knowing Lily, which is definitely bitch assery at its finest, but that's the nature of this beast at this stage of the game. So they decided in order to get some type of retribution for Bella being mistreated, that her and Lily are going to go to Van's old nine mag party situation, whatever. So that's not going to go well at all. But moving on. All right, so four is at the new shop and he's trying to get set up and they're showing him to his booth. And China, I guess she's the secretary at this point. She shows up and she lets four know that, hey, this is your booth, but I'm gonna let you finish, but here's a contract. This is a mandatory contract that Ryan is having all of his employees sign at this stage of the game. And one of the terms is that he gets payouts, which means every time that Ford does a tattoo, Ryan gets a percentage of said revenue. In the old NIMAC, it was just, you pay your booth rental fee and you skip your happy ass on about your day. If you make $1 million, you make $1 million. As long as you pay whatever the cost is to rent your booth, we're square. Now, there is a mandatory contract that entails payouts per tattoo that is made. So that means Ryan gets a portion of every tattoo that his employees do in his shop, and they have to pay a booth rent fee. So for let's China know, like, hey, I understand that's your job. I ain't mad at you. But based on the conversation that me and Ryan had, some of these things don't apply to me. And China comes back and hits him with the 1-2 punch and lets him know, like, hey, I'll start a conversation with Ryan. And Ryan said, everything that apply to us apply to you. So good luck with that. So four lets him know, like, hey, I only have one tattoo to do. I'll do it in the old shop. Tell Ryan to hit me up when he gets done. So that's gonna be interesting. First episode took a little while to get to the shenanigans, but we getting there. All right. So looks like four has gone back to the old shop in order to do his high profile client. And I think earlier I may have said it was an NFL client. However, it's a WNBA star. Unfortunately, I didn't catch her name. I'm not familiar with who she is. Um, anyway, I found it interesting that Ford went back to the old shop when in the same episode earlier, it was, the old shop ain't a good look. I'm sorry, Van, but I'd rather work upstairs at the new shop, blah, 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 with the boot. Well, guess what? You had to come back to the trusty, dusty old shop. Yep. Anyway, so the NFL client gets a breast cancer tattoo on behalf of her grandmother that survived breast cancer. It turns out to be a very nice tattoo. And now we're going to see what happens after the break. Looks like Lily's going to crash the party and call somebody yet another nigga. So we'll see. All right, so the party has begun in traditional nine mag fashion. The strippers have arrived, and moments later, so does Lily. Lily shows up, and she is there to defend Bella. Which, I mean, I can't be mad at the fact that she's there to defend her friend because they were low key coming for Bella just because she's still friends with Lily, which is very elementary at best. But whatever, she's there, and of course Lily is drunk. She didn't say it, but we've seen Lily enough to know she on one. And while she's there, Van is like, I'm not gonna let her energy bother me, blah blah blah, whoopty whoop. And then one of his Chicago realer friends or his new tattoo artist is, hey, he lets us know, hey, Bella, the last time we saw you, you were there flipping tables, so why are you even back here? And then Lily pipes up and, lets us know, like, I'm here to defend my friend. And Bella's like, yeah, I'm back because I want to let y'all know that it wasn't cool for y'all to try to bully me, to try to pump me out, or whatever, whatever, whatever. And then Lily and one of the Chicago Reelers or Van's new artist, I don't know his name, they go back and forth, with words. And he was like, we having a party. We ain't here for all that drama or whatever, whatever. And Lily was like, whatever, I don't know you. I'm here talking to Van. So what you want to do, my nigga? Point blank in the period. That's That's how she feels again at this point. So you have not only said it on multiple occasions, and you have been addressed on multiple occasions about people's uncomfortability with you saying such things, but you'll continue to say it in a group of people that relate to the term. So at this point, you need to get slapped. That's just my opinion. Don't care if y'all agree, but that's my opinion on the point. Whatever. So they just going back and forth, and as soon as not as soon as she said it, but I think after she said it, somebody threw a drink in her face, and if you've had a drink thrown in your face, the shit burns, so your eyes burn. So she just sit there with like her eyes closed because she can't see, and then she threw a drink back at whoever threw it. The cameraman doesn't show who threw the drink, but so now she want to fight. She bucked up about the situation, and Van carries her literally duffel bag carries her out the door. And that is the end of season 5, the mid-season premiere of Black Ink Crew Chicago, season 5, episode 11. So there's going to be a whole lot more drama. I doubt that Ryan will stay removed from said drama. I think that Rachel will be back in the new shop. Her and Ryan will get back together for yet another season. It will not last through the season. Charmaine is going to walk away from the old shop. Van is not going to prove to be a sufficient leader, and we'll do it all again for another season. So stay tuned.